there, improvising in the acoustic setup, and Paz Lenchantin on the violin. It's been a decade since you guys got back together. I mean, Frank, did you foresee this reunion having this much life in it when you first decided to get the band back together?
When I was having my daily psychic vision of the future, I knew that this day would come when we would release the music that was being played on Magdalena 318, the asteroid, where we have been residing all these many years away from you.
The TV button. First of all, we had far too little reverb on your voice while you were doing that. This was recorded in our production values, but it's just you couldn't predict what was going to happen when you guys got first reunited.
Oh, I guess not. Yeah, I don't know. I think we just were. We didn't even plan on getting back together. We was just.
You may have been back together longer than.
This is still a live interview from 2 days of Jim Pixies. And you know my thoughts after hearing their performance. It just the band picks up the song of what they were years and years ago. They sound like the kind of soft. They kind of lost their touch a little bit. Just my opinion.
And I was just sort of like, sorry everybody, I was just sitting around and we went, well, how about, why not?
Much of the success of the reformed Pixies, has to do with the widespread adoration of your early work. And I want to get to the new material, but first, take me back. Frank, when the Pixies formed, you said you weren't aiming for any particular sound, but you arrived at one through knowing what you didn't want to sound. What didn't you want to sound?
Well, I suppose in the early and mid-1980s, the worst example of mainstream music, in my opinion, was kind of hair-blown, kind of macho, metaloid kind of rock. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't think it was contemplated then.
One of the main tenets, perhaps, of the Pixies sound, especially on those first records, is this dynamism that you could go from very quiet to explosive sound. Do you remember how that tendency started in your music?
Well, I don't think it was a formula. It might become like a little formula, but I don't think it was essential. I think it just happened. That's the way songs were, and then I think we got noticed of that.
Where did you guys start?
All of us in the band were all fans of rock music and records and things. I think we all have natural production instincts about arranging, especially, and so we just naturally started to carve it out. I mean, it wasn't like we were silly, like we were all just like playing a gazillion solos and fills and just filling up as much space as we possibly could. It's like, I think we kind of like being obsessive rock music listeners from a young age. I think we've got to skip that part where the producer says, well, you guys are just playing everything all at the same time. I think it was just natural. Oh yeah, it sounds a little busy or a little bit complicated or something, so I'll just stop playing this part.
What is the band about for you guys now in terms of ambitions? Is this something you want to continue to see growing? Is it a job? Is it a passion? Is it the day gig? Is it something you're just comfortable with? Tell me about what it means to be in Pixies now.
I think it's a wonderful job. I mean, it's the best job I could have. I love playing the drums. I get to eat wherever I go, food, and I get to travel, and then make a living at it as well. So I can't think of anything else I'd rather do.
What about you guys? What drives you to continue to be in the band?
It's really one of the only things I'm kind of good at. You know, I got to be honest. There is that fear of of this disappearing. You know, and that drives you a little bit. I just don't want to end.
Yeah, you like being in the band.
I do.
That's great.